Ladies and certainly mostly and if not exclusively gentlemen, welcome to Damascus, the RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Warframe, Final Fantasy XIV, Vindictus, Elsword, Maple Story. uh, I can't think of any other games right now. Killer! This game will take your life, it will take your sleep, it will take probably your will to live, and you're gonna let it. You will just let it do its thing because you have no choice. But the game owns you just like it owns me. Damascus, in all seriousness, is a classic RPG which can be summarized as being more of a tabletop simulator game than actually a fully functioning MMO, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. Now, if you ever played RuneScape, you will definitely like Damascus, and if you like Damascus and you play long enough, you may find yourself thinking that it is leagues above RuneScape, which it most definitely is. At its current state, RuneScape does have a lot of things on it, but RuneScape has also had a big head start of a good 20 plus years or something? I don't even know how long that's been out. But Damascus is being worked on by two people, and they are actively speaking with the players, and as the audience grows, the voices of the players are definitely going to drown each other out, and the developers are not going to be able to keep up in the Discord reading 1,000 plus messages every single day. So while the getting's going, you should probably get on and see what you like and don't like about the game, because they are very good, maybe even a little too good at making changes on the fly. Like you will say something one day and the next day you come back and that plus another 10 other things have already been fixed, and that blows my mind personally. But we want this game to be the best that it can possibly be, definitely. And if you're saying, Panda, why are you not doing anything exciting and you're just cutting wood? That's because this is the game. You sit there in a spot for hours doing the same action over and over and over again to meet your own ends, whatever that may be. So I think I should probably just talk about the skills, really. There's really not much in here. Combat is just like in RuneScape, like it used to be, right? You go up to an enemy, you hit it, it hits back, you eat the food so you don't die, it may or may not drop something, you keep going, you level up. I do think though that early games some things need to be buffed in terms of monetary value. So if we go here, we click on any of these skills, let's say melee for example. Now, steel weapons. Personally, I feel that all the steel gear should be a little more expensive on the shop side, because the way it works is that you sell a percentage. It's like, I don't know, it's like what, like when you start off it's like 10%, and then as you level up the trading skill here, you get discounts and you can sell items for more money. So the more you sell to shops, the more you basically profit in the long run, and the cheaper things are for you, which is very, very interesting and very unique. Also, there's stamina, which is basically agility. If you come from RuneScape, it makes your run energy go up a little higher, and your health regeneration. Now, that's not, I haven't seen a lot of growth on the stamina side. I'm what, 54 right now? And 58 survival, okay. But anyways, running doesn't seem to be that significant. I don't know what level 99 looks like, so I can't have, I can't really have that big of an opinion on it as to how fast it goes up. And running in this game is really strong. Okay, now here's the map. I was actually killing giant bears on this little part of the map. I'm just gonna put it in the middle just in case my mouse doesn't show up. And this is Split City. where you respawn when you die. And I basically ran across that bridge, and I ran all the way up here with a couple of stamina potions, and I made it back to my stuff in less than a minute, probably. And if I were to just walk, it would have probably taken me like 2 or 3 minutes just to get there. So that's... running is really strong. What is it? You move at like what, like 5 times the speed? So let's try it out. So I'm gonna run. Well, I'm gonna walk up to the bank, drop off these logs. Right, so we're gonna go to the bank lemur, and then you see that's about how long it takes. Put that away. Press the new, updated S key to sprint, and I'm back over here. So that's how fast you run, and it drains really fast. So okay, so now that I talk about those two skills, which pretty much level up from you just playing the game. Let's see, health is your maximum hit points, goes up every time you get hit, which means that earlier on in the game you don't really get to train it a lot, and the way experience works is by enemy combat level, and until you start getting to the 50s, maybe 70s or more, you're only gonna get like a 1-to-1, so like you take 1 damage, you get 1 XP. It's kind of slow, but it's really unique, and that's perfectly fine. Health is fine. Accuracy works the same way. You get 1 if you miss, I guess, do a 0. You get a little more if you land an attack. Again, doesn't matter until the higher levels. Defense is when you take 0s, and that also matters on higher levels. Starting to see a trend. Now, here comes the combat triangle. Now the way it works is melee and range train essentially the same. Right? When you kill an enemy, you get experience. It's not like in RuneScape where it's per hit, which is, I think, is a lot better way to do it than, say, you know, per kill. Per kill is better. It means that if you want to get more XP, you gotta fight stronger enemies instead of just saying, oh, I'm gonna hit the thing that has the most XP, like the most hit points, and I could just kill really fast. So it's more about killing strong enemies, and that's fine. Right, so melee, range, they work the same. You can even bring a melee weapon with you and then get last hit with a ranging weapon. That's fine. No complaints there. Really helps out. Then we got Psychic, which is the mage skill. Now Psychic requires the use of actuators, which are little bottle boys. And we got the magic skills over here. The ones that are lit up are the skills that are in the game and that I can use, which means that telekinesis right here is not in the game, and neither is heal, which they'll add them later. That's fine. I have a problem with telekinesis though. I'm guessing that this is Telegraph from RuneScape, and in RuneScape Telegraph had only 2 places where it would have been required, which is underneath one of the banks, Varrock Bank, if you know where that is. Basically you needed a law rune, which costs about at the time I think it was 300 gold, then the price started going down. But when I was doing it, I didn't have any concept of money, so every time I casted the Telegraph spell, I was essentially losing money because none of the items, like the gold pile, and I think there was a gold ring, none of those were worth the money that I put into casting the spell. So that was a big waste of time for me. I was just messing around though, so I don't really have any regrets. And then the other one is, I don't know if you know this item, it's called a Wine of Zamorak, and there's only one on a table. You cannot reach it unless you use Telegraph, and there's about 50 bots auto-clicking on that thing, and you will never get a Wine of Zamorak unless you're a member, because there are more member worlds than free worlds, and maybe then you'll get to use Telegraph on the Wine of Zamorak. And if you can do that and you're a member, you're better off just, I guess, killing whatever drops it. So overall, Telegraph is just a big waste of everybody's time. and I'm afraid that it'll just be a thing that's there. It's cool, but it won't have any use whatsoever. So that's kind of my fear, right? The constant thing I'm looking at here is which of these skills has a practical use and which you can just completely ignore and they're just there, right? It's hard to find the balance, I understand. Let's move on to destruction. Now this is the prayer skill. I clicked on this a couple of times. These are all the quote-unquote prayers, right? The powers. So this gives you, you know, melee strength, magic, range, well, psychic. Into the Void, I think it does half of your enemy's hit points, and it's like a single use thing. You know, I got the little pink purple bar right there. That's how many points I currently have. That's your level. So this would cost 20 to use, and you just use it. I think that's really cool. And we got speed boost. Let's see, spite. You know, all that good stuff. And destruction right now is it's a really unique thing to train. Really, you have to go to one of the destruction altars. Here's one right here. That thing in the middle, and what you do is you bring an item and you burn the item, and then you get experience. The more expensive the item is, the more you get, and I think it goes off of the alchemy value, which is what you the new spell alchemy, by the way, new update. Ah yes, glorious alchemy. Remember in RuneScape when you sat there high alching like this stack of 10,000 plus bows? Good times. Thank you, Jagex, for making us waste our time. Now, in this game, alchemy actually costs one lesser actuator, which I think is extremely cheap. But then again, trading exists, and you actually might make more money by trading something than alching it. So the way I see it is, if you're gonna be out fighting monsters and they're gonna be dropping things, you can just alch them on the spot and just have a nice pile of coins that you can come to your bank to. So that's perfectly fine. It's more of a utility spell. Alright, destruction, yep. Prayers, we got stamina. Survival, very unique because it combines 4 of RuneScape skills, which are cooking, fire making, wood cutting, and fishing. All of that is in survival. All of those 4. So you cut the tree, you fish the fish, you cook, and you light the logs on fire, all just from one skill. Honestly, that's great. I kind of think that cooking should be its own thing. Maybe cooking something like cakes. Maybe fish can stay in survival. But it's all lumped together, that's fine, it doesn't need to be changed. Just an opinion I have. Mining, you get the ores, not much else to it. Mechanics. Now this one's interesting, and I think it's a members only skill because the tables are in members only areas. And this allows you to make the blue boys, which are the actuators, to cast magic. You make staffs, teleport tablets, and crossbows. Oh, and guns. Yeah, there are guns. Yeah, fun stuff. Then we got fletching, bows and arrows. So far, this is the most lucrative skill to train. I highly recommend that you do what I'm doing right now if you want money in this game and just start cutting a bunch of stuff until you get to yellow wood. It's not that profitable, but as soon as you start hitting yellow wood and beyond, you just get more and more and more money. And that is ridiculous, and I think that you should get a lot more money from combat, but that's another discussion for another time. Stealing, I think, is useless. You can pickpocket, and then stalls are members only, but you can pickpocket any of the enemies in here if you can get to them. Which I think is all of them, actually. Except maybe the Tiger Man. That might be the only... I might need to double check that one. I think this is the only one that's like in a members only area. You can pickpocket everything else, you get some coins. As for the stalls, apparently the grocery stall and the meat stall are the only good ones. I forgot what chemist gives. I think weapon stall is useless, and then the surgeon stall is okay. Because it gives you like the surgeons are really high level fish, and that's just about it for stealing. It can definitely be expanded upon. I think that it should go with the... There was a suggestion to make like treasure trails a thing. I know it might piss some people off, but I think that treasure trails, the thingy and stealing should be connected just to give stealing a purpose. But that might not be the best idea. Maybe stealing can have its own thing. That's probably better. But again, just an observation. Stealing not very good. Metalwork. You make things out of metal. Until you reach... What is it? Let me go down. That's a lot of stuff. So I think... I don't know if you can get everything that's e-copper. That's enchanted copper, by the way. I think you need a little... Some of these you cannot buy from their shops. I think like the katana and stuff. And after that, yeah, e-gold stuff. There's a few e-gold things, but other than that, I think what this is the next tier. Let's go back to it in a second. The next tier should be Damascus. Yeah, the Damascus stuff is the best, and you can only get it from either drops or making it. So this right here is the end game. Also, you cannot... I don't think you can buy arrowheads anywhere. So arrowheads and Damascus, as well as... Let's see, can you make axes here? Yeah. Yeah, you can make axes. Axes only go up to, I think it's enchanted copper. So if you want to have the better axes to cut wood with, you gotta do metalwork and maybe get from players. Explosives, you make bombs. Bombs themselves, I tried using them. They're not very good from my limited knowledge. They're not that good. So it's not really a problem with the skill, it's just a problem with the things. Farming, unless you're gonna make trees right next to a bank, I don't see a point in farming. I haven't gotten into it. I haven't made any of the high tier food, but I'm guessing that at least some of the stuff down here should be like worth getting to. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure. Chemistry, make potions. These are pretty good. This is worth getting into. Then we got guild work right now. There's gonna be a big guild work remake. At the moment, the only thing you can do with it is get to 40 and go to the island. That's the only use it has, and that's okay. You know, there's gonna be some changes to it. One of them is, I think I suggested it. I don't know if other people have. And it's the getting paid for the contracts that you take. It's basically Slayer. They're gonna let you examine monsters to gain info on them. I'm guessing it's gonna be drops and damage and all that. That's great. By itself, that is a great change, and it would make the skill worth training just for that. But they're also gonna make, I guess, Slayer or guild work only monsters, and that's gonna be a thing. And we're also gonna get rewarded for doing the task, which is something that I absolutely suggested. I don't know if people have. Again, for rewards, I think it should be based off of the monster level, and maybe it's drops. It's up to you, devs. You can do whatever. If I get like 10 gold for killing like a bunch of level 100 monsters, I will be happier than not getting anything. Because half the time, combat is not... It's not very good for money making. And that's okay, because the way it works is that usually the really high level bosses are the ones that actually give you anything that's worth your time. Which again, it's fine, right? But I think that we need a little bit of a curve, bump it up early to give people an incentive to not just cut a bunch of wood and be like, I'm just gonna fish and fight, right? You can't do that at the moment. If you fight, you'll only get so far. You need something else to give you a little bit of money to get started, essentially. And fishing your own food also helps. But that's about all I have to say, right? Yeah, I think I put up all of my initial thoughts on what Damascus really brings to the table. I think I forgot to mention how to train Psychic. It's you kill enemies with the spells, but also every time you cast a spell you get experience. And the combination of the two makes training this really easy And let's see, lesser actuators are what you need, right? Yeah, lesser. So those cost about, I can't think off the top of my head, the base cost, was it 10 gold each when you started? Because of my trading though, for me, right now they're worth 4 gold a piece. So for example, casting this lesser lightning, every time I cast it, it costs 20 gold for me. And I make hundreds of thousands just from cutting these woods and turn them into bows. So that's not a problem for me. Yeah, there's a guy fighting. Ah, well, there you go. Welcome to my video. Alright, that's what I got for today. I'm gonna no life this, and well, if you're interested, give it a go. It's free to play. You can only access, let me see here, this little middle section here, from Split City, Mount Graf, Three River Fort, and the Smuggler's Den. Oh wait, and also Port Haven down here. But that's all you get as a free player. You can't go past the little bridge here in Split, and that's about it, really. You can definitely enjoy the game being a free player. You can use every skill, but some of them are, like I said, they're behind the members areas, like the stalls for stealing and all that. But yeah, that's the game. It is great, and I sunk 50 plus hours into it, and it hasn't even been 7 days. Has not been a full week yet, and I'm just this game has taken everything from me. And I'm gonna renew this membership here very soon. So good job everybody. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. Oh yeah, gonna be a good day, isn't it? Good day of chopping trees.